All right. Good morning, members and friends of the Church of the Angels. The church is an independent, non-denominational, interfaith spiritualist assembly. My name is Reverend Jenni Vinecourt. I'm your facilitator today, and we'll spend about an hour together, maybe an hour and a half, with a prayer, a bit of sharing, and some song. A few logistics as we get started. You may join us today with just audio if you choose. You don't have to use the video option because service is being recorded. And just so you know that whoever is speaking is the one that shows up on the recording. So that is being recorded so that we can offer this to help more folks connect up with us. I also ask that all participants please keep yourself muted for the majority of the service, as we found that any background noise kind of interferes with everybody's enjoyment. We will have music. We don't have Reverend Bobby today, but we will have some music. And during the sharing portion of the service, after our speaker, if you want to be called on to comment or if you have a question, please use the raise your hand button, which is found somewhere on your screen, or raise your literal hand if you're on audio so I can see you, or use the chat function so that I can find you and make sure that you're unmuted so that you can ask your question or make your comment. I also want to mention before we get started that if you wish to make a donation, you can do that through the website, www.thechurchoftheangels.net. And you'll also have the opportunity at that time to make that donation a recurring one if you choose. And I want to give a big thank you to all of those who have donated to help us keep going through this difficult time. Please join me in an opening prayer. Mother, Father, Infinite Spirit, thank you for your blessings on all those joining us today to honor your work and experience your grace and wisdom. Thank you for providing the appropriate thoughts, insights, actions, and all resources for us to gain a better and truer understanding of your love by the words spoken and the healing brought forth here today so that we might lead healthy, happy, and prosperous lives. Thank you for showing us the way to accept responsibility for our lives. We are grateful to know that you are with us always. So be it. Thank you. And I've asked Anne-Marie to read the statement of principles today. I have lost you. Where did you? Ah, there you are. Okay, go ahead. I think you're unmuted, Anne-Marie. Thank you so much.
Okay. There is one creative force of which all life is a part. This one creative force is known by many names and manifestations. We recognize and honor the many names and manifestations of the one creative force, the source of all creation, one in God. The energy of life everywhere is continuous. All consciousness is continuous. Communication is continuous. The energy of life, consciousness, and communication never cease, even after the event that is perceived as death. One creates one's own reality. One creates in harmony with the one creative force, the great power of God, of which all life is a part. Reality is as one chooses to perceive and will change as one grows in knowledge of the inner self in one's relationship with the God of his understanding. All things are possible with faith, insight, knowledge, understanding, acceptance, and love. Love is the unifying energy of the universe. Love is the energy of the one creative force, the wisdom of God. All life and all mankind are one in the creatorship and healing force of love and with each other. Love is within us and of us. Love is never apart from us. It is we who separate ourselves from the power of love. The force of God works through love and love alone.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. I want to mention before we continue that a copy of that statement of principles or the files to get a copy of that is in the latest newsletter. You can also find that on the website so that you will have it with you that you can read along as long as we are doing virtual services. All right, I'd like to start again with a few moments of quiet meditation so that we may concentrate on going within to find the peace and calm and healing for ourselves and for the world. I believe we're not going to do a guided today. Let's see if I can get the music to work. We'll do this. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Take another deep breath in and let it out. Take your time and come back to the present and open your eyes. Please remember that we are always connected to each other and to the divine. Please use this peace and calm to take care of yourselves and all those around you in your communities and throughout the world in whatever way that you can. And now please silently or aloud add the names of those you wish to include in this healing energy. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now we're going to raise the vibration with our first song for the day, which is going to be I Can See Clearly Now. So I hope you can hear it clearly now. In a minute. There we go.
I can see clearly.
Yes, okay.
The rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be bright, bright, bright,
Awesome. And now I would normally introduce our speaker, but before we do that, Spirit is telling me to interrupt with a prayer. I wasn't sure where this was going to happen, but apparently it's happening now. They wanted me to interject this prayer sometime in the service today, and it's called Seeing the Light in Everyone. Holy Mother, Father God, divine loving light and heart of the universe, I humbly ask for the healing power of your grace to help me see the holy light of goodness in myself and in others, and release everything in me that sees anything else. I thank you in advance with my whole heart and soul for answering my prayer, and I confidently await these blessings. Amen, and with infinite gratitude. And I'm not sure who of us needed to hear that other than myself, but there it is. And now it's time for Inspiration and Thought Exchange, brought to us by today's speaker. We do invite everyone to address this assembly with words of inspiration, lessons learned, or passionate ideas. Our speaker today is Edward Laylin. And biohealing has been a priority for Ed since a farm accident changed his world when he was a child. An active prayer life expanded into a continuous healing focus 20 plus years ago when a healing circle was started at the Church of the Covenant. Soon after that, Edward became a Reiki master, including techniques from Chinese, Japanese, Native American disciplines. He has expanded his understanding of how to heal more effectively and what is being healed. The past few years, Ed has been involved in helping established professional healers and teachers, teaching beginners, on how to develop their gifts. His current goal is getting self-healing into as many Northeast Ohio, homes as possible, as quickly as possible. So with that, I am going to unmute Edward Laylin and welcome him to our assembly. Thank you, Ed.
Thank you very much, Reverend Jenny. Can you hear me? Am I coming across okay? Oh, good. Hello, my name is Ed Laylin, and thank you very much for that magnificent introduction. I know it's magnificent, I wrote it. And you don't throw anything away, I can't imagine that. Okay, this talk is titled It's Just a Thought, and it's about being stuck in your spiritual development. Each of us is different every day. Our experiences today influence who we are tomorrow. Everything that we think, say, and do tomorrow is influenced by everything that we think, say, and do today and yesterday, and all of our yesterdays. And with each passing day and week and month, there are events that we experience that stand out and have longer lasting influence on the choices that we make and the things that we say. Theologian Eckhart Tolle tells us that experience may be a singular occurrence, or it may be an experience that has taken place over time and perhaps many years. Each experience has two types of attachments. We remember it, so we've attached it to our thinking part of our brain, and we feel it because we've attached it to our feeling part as an emotion. Now, a thinking attachment requires a fixed amount of energy and generally doesn't influence our emotional state, but it does keep us from doing something over again that has caused us pain. And our emotional connection provides us a foundation and reinforces our thinking connections. So the more drama, the more traumatic the event, the stronger the memory. And maintaining the emotion to a memory requires more energy and sometimes a great deal of energy that may be expanded over a very long period of time. A single event, if it's big enough, can stop the emotional growth for part of our personality or soul, and it'll keep us from completely being who we came here to be and doing what we came here to do, like a rock in a stream. Former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Margaret Thatcher, once said, "Watch your thoughts, for they become words, and watch your words, for they become actions, and watch your actions, for they become habits." And it might be noted here that habits of thought affect your personality, your perspective, and your reality. Abraham Hicks taught us that what you think defines what you'll receive from the universe. What we thought, our perspective, and our attitude yesterday in a very real way creates the reality that we live in today. Here's an example. I recorded the following thought about 25 or 30 years ago, and it's still unfinished. Listen closely to the emotion and the perspective of these words. It's just short. And note what first comes to mind about my thoughts at that time. What was the perspective? What was the attitude? Okay, here we go. I had a thought today, be it ever so trite, and if I try hard, tomorrow just might bring another, and I shall write it down with a stubby little pencil I found on the ground, and perhaps I shall polish them and make them dear to those who will listen with their faces near, to help their day be brighter like a handwritten letter, and if they're sad, it could make them feel better. Or make them see their life in a new way, like watching spring leaves that grow in a day, or a ripening apple that when it falls near, leaves us all feeling better because it was here. This thought is so full, I just might let it fly, nurtured by others that are sure to pass by. And I'll see just how far that thought will go, and it will join other thoughts, and I'm sure will grow to become the words you and I may write in a letter. So that's it. So what was the first thought that crossed your mind? You don't have to tell me, just think about it. That crossed your mind about my thoughts from that time. What was the perspective? What was the attitude? I still have those expectations. I still have those beliefs, and they still influence the reality that I live in today. The language, that leads on to the language of the universe. The language of the universe is emotion and thought. The universe sends you what you are presently thinking so that you can understand what you're presently feeling. Now, Jamie Price tells us that being human is about emotions. And what are they saying about you? And what should you do to feel better? Her answer is, trust your inner self. You're not part of a human collective. You are an empowered beingness creating a connected humanity. Now, everything that you think, say, and do is filtered through your experiences and the way your mind processes those experiences. It's how your ego protects your conscious mind. And what you've heard every day in a monotone voice gets overwritten by one loud outburst. And loud outbursts every day become the commercials in between the thoughts, trying to normalize the situation. And this also keeps the fight or flight syndrome from the day away from the healing hours of sleep. Now, the thinking part of our brain isn't complete until year 7. It isn't completely formed. It's not mature enough to effectively process the words that people spoke to you, experiences that you've had, and events that you remember from those times. From about age 7, our brain develops patterns of coping and understanding, which are mostly developed by age 10. Now, as an adult, we may remember an event, and if it happened before age 7, the memory may be the result of a dream from under the bed or from a bedroom closet. However, a perceived wound still bleeds and forms very real scars. And most of us, unfortunately, are not remembering a page from Grimm's fairy tales. The very real and documented and collaborative bullet is still in the wound and continues to cause scarring through which we view the world around us and our place in that world. These scars form part of the filter through which we create and view our reality. Note that the sources of being stuck in your spiritual development, it's not your fault. It's probably from an event that happened in the early years, or if the event happened later in life, it may have connected in some way with the earlier experiences. And the place where stuck is nurtured and reinforced by thought. It doesn't matter if it's a conscious thought or an unconscious thought. You keep reliving the trauma or series of events that evolved into the trauma until they're resolved. We're not in the center focus of consciousness or unconscious thought. You must be the one to do something about it. No one can do it for you. And remember that no one can help you until you give them permission. Often there's an emotion that surfaces with the thoughts. Now here's the thing. Pain cannot heal pain. Fear cannot heal fear. A negative feeling cannot cure a negative event. We need to release the connection of the anger, the fear, the confusion from its attachment to the event. The trauma that still has the bullet of emotion wrapped up in the scars has to be released. You cannot change the scars. The memory doesn't go away. You can remove the emotional attachment, which is the bullet, from the event. View it. One way is to view it as a video on CNN or Fox News. Record it like it was a newspaper clipping or news magazine article. Put it into a heavy binder and file it with the other dusty folders in your library of experiences. If it's archived as a resolved experience, it's not part of the active protection from the ego. It is a memory. You can stop constantly reliving it, thinking about it, manifesting it. It's in the reference section of your library, not at the top of your defense mechanisms to-do list for today. Just the energy saved is worth the effort. Imagine not carrying that burden through the rest of your days. From our teens to our early 30s, we try to compensate for an emotional blockage with things, addictions, busyness. By the time we figure out that none of that works, we're depleted and we have surrendered to the blockage and remain stuck. Not only are we a mess, but look what we've done to everyone in our influence. People that love us, people that we love, people we're responsible for, and people that are responsible for us. We don't remember that we have a voice, let alone use it. Give yourself a voice, one that you and others can hear. Make a choice to validate your own being. In short, love yourself. Choose with every breath to validate something about your being. And if that's too hard, set an alarm for every hour. And when it goes off, make a point of saying, I am, or I will, and fill in the blank. For example, if I choose to be my highest self for the next hour, or I will do the best I can with what I have for the next hour, and I'll give away the best that I have to everyone around me for the next hour. I will share their moments. I will be available and listen as they talk. And maybe I will give a smile to everyone, and I'll give a hug to anyone that stands still long enough. Choose to get up in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror and say, oh my God, look, we made it this far. Well, let's go see how much we can do for ourselves today. Let us build that bridge. Let us look up someone we haven't connected with for a while, and let us check in with someone who says nice things to us. Most of us develop the tools and the need to work through our early years when we get into our early mid-30s, and we've discovered things about ourselves that need answers and resolution. but not all of us. Some of us crush our childhood and bury it in an obsidian box deep within ourselves, and the issue or issues are never resolved, and some of us avoid the resolution and live with it forever. Intuitive Christina Alexander explains it this way: if you're stuck, being sabotaged in your growth, you have a child part of you that needs to be seen, heard, loved, accepted, and put in their safe space, in your heart. Now, there are intuitives who can help you find the source of your block and help you understand how it's affecting you. On YouTube, Christy Marie Sheldon reads people's souls and removes blockages from the first 7 years. And being stuck wears many hats. Some of us are sarcastic, reclusive, belligerent. We just can't get past who we've become to drop the defense mechanism protecting us from having someone tear out or crush the part of us our ego is protecting. Often it's difficult to resolve a blockage all at one time, and often there's another factor or multiple considerations to factor into the resolution. Dealing with the source of a block that is causing us to be stuck involves emotions. Is it a feeling of being lost, scared, angry? Talk to it. Fear is a person. Anger is a person. Emotions are mentors and teachers. They're trying to teach us. They're trying to guide us. Each emotion is a person trying to help sort out what is needed to be whole and healed. Set aside some time to focus on communicating. And when you do, don't do all the talking. Be still, be quiet, listen. Listen for a very soft voice speaking quietly with information only for you. Trust your gifts. Almost no one gets it right the first time, and it may help to connect your source energy with your creation energy. This aligns thoughts and attentions so that you can look through the window at the problem from the inside and the outside at the same instant. Be present in the moment as a dream and as a dreamer. See the big picture and what is needed to be learned from the event or the condition. David Hawkins tells us that if you're a lost cause, you wouldn't be looking for answers. You're already on your way. And if you haven't had much luck working with others, and they just don't seem to connect, or they're two extremely different, there are two extremely different effective methods that I've used for resolving conflicts. One is EFT, which is tapping, and the current guru that I adhere to is a fellow named Nick Ortner, and he's not hard to find online, Ortner. And then there's the Ho'oponopono, and Joe Vitale is a great teacher of this and a great expositor on it. You can use either or both to resolve the blocks and release the energy that you need to get past any issue, basically, and expand to the person that you intended to be when you chose to incarnate. And thank you very much for that prayer, because that was a perfect lead-in. I thank you so much.
And I thank you, Ed. Thank you very much. And we thank Spirit for that. They're the one who told me to go ahead and do that then. So thank you to Spirit. And I thank you very much for your talk. It was, it hit quite a few chords with me. And you mentioned the phrase, I am. I have that tattooed on my wrist so that I see it all the time. I am. And then, you know, fill in the blanks depending on the day with positive things. But anyway, I'd like to open it up for comments and questions. So I am watching the screen right now for any raised hands, or anybody who'd like to. Tonda, are you waving at a bug, or are you raising your hand?
I'm waving feet away.
Okay. Okay. All right. Does anybody have any comments or questions for Ed? Cindy Hudson, you're unmuted. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Number one, Ed, that was a really loaded talk. And so I feel like I missed parts because I was so busy ruminating on a part of what you were saying. And then the next is like, oh, but that's good too. So thank you for such a rich talk this morning. My gosh, that was just loaded with gems for me, at least. So I pretty much wanted to thank you and for pulling in so many things from the EFT to Ho'oponopono and all those different ways that we connect with the divine and move forward with our day and help ourselves heal. So again, just really want to say thank you.
You're very welcome. And one thing that you need to think about when you're working with the tapping or the EFT or the Ho'oponopono, either one of those could be a day-long lecture.
Oh, yeah.
And any paragraph in the talk could be a day-long lecture. But I try to pepper it with enough to keep everybody's attention.
Well, thank you. You did an awesome job.
Thank you.
So much there.
All right. Any other comments or questions here? Yes, go ahead, Deborah.
Ed, I just want to thank you for the talk. Like Cindy said, I am happy this is recorded because I do want to go back. I was taking a few notes, which I often do when I come to service at the Church of the Angels. And a lot of it's things I already know, but it's just nice to have it reinforced, especially I've had a lot of things go, as we all have during this experience, so much going on. But the one thing too with the tapping, it keeps coming up for me, but I haven't really explored that too much. So I think I will. I work with Ho'oponopono and Abraham Hicks and all those, and I understand it. So I just thank you for bringing that to my attention as well. And I don't remember, there was something, I jotted down a lot of notes here, but be still and listen and trust your gifts. That's one thing that I really need to really work on. Sometimes I get so wrapped up in everything that's going on and managing the chaos that's going on around me, because God has certainly changed my world in the last couple of weeks, and it's funny, anytime I think I know what's coming or what's, what's happening, things happen. And I know and understand that it is my thoughts. So the things that are leaving my life are things that I haven't really been happy with anyway. So it is, and sometimes the bird has to be pushed out of the nest before she can fly. And that's where I'm kind of focusing on. And I appreciate that. And thank you for that. I will definitely, that's going to go on my refrigerator, an affirmation. Maybe I'll tattoo it somewhere on me too. I don't know, but thank you for the reminder and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah. All right. Anybody else? Let me do a quick scan here. Who am I missing? I don't want to miss anybody. Let's see. Oh, Steven, let's see, from Angeline. She says, thank you very much. She needed to hear the message. So did Judy Niram. And also, let's see, from Stephen Mara to everybody, incredible talk. Yep, looking forward to watching it again so it can sink in. Awesome. Okay, I think I have caught everybody. Oh, Tanda, this time it's not a B. Go ahead, Tanda.
It's you this time. Basically ditto to everyone else's comments. I found that there was a lot of meat in what you shared this morning. So wanted to thank you for that. And also think in my own personal experience that while things may be put in the archives because of circumstances that arise periodically, I take the archives off the shelf because there's another layer of something new or another layer of letting go that I'm now able to do or need to at least examine. And this time is certainly one of those. So thank you. And I hope you do a day-long lecture sometime.
And thank you very much for that comment, because that's very, very important. Is you're never done. You are never finished. When you think I finally arrived, I finally completed it, you're in trouble. You are never ever done. Thank you for that. That's a very important comment.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you again, Ed. Thank you so much. And now we'll move into a little bit of message work. As spiritualists, we believe that the energy of all beings is forever linked, and that all of us have direct access to the love and guidance of loved ones, guides, teachers, saints, healers, and angels on the other side of life. We do have mediums here who have joined us today who have agreed to be of service and connect with Spirit to bring forth a few messages for us. And I'm going to ask Reverend Cindy Hudson to start us off. You are unmuted. Please go ahead.
Okay, good morning, everybody. And happy Memorial Day weekend for those that would celebrate that. Before I get into messages, because they're starting to talk to me, but I found a quotation from a woman by the name of Jennifer Granholm. And she says, ceremonies are important, but our gratitude has to be more than visits to the troops and once a year Memorial Day ceremonies. We honor the dead best by treating the living well. And I like that thought. I think that that's very relevant for any time, much less certainly during Memorial Day weekend. And I think that that's something that this church tries to exemplify, as do many other churches. I'm not saying we're unique with that, but treating the living well is something I think most of us are consciously aware of day by day and try to put that out there. So thank you for indulging me in that. And I have a message this morning. I'm looking through my list of people here for a second. Pardon my leaning in. And the person I thought I had a message for, I don't see. So it must be for someone else. Oh, Lee. Lee, would you like a message this morning? Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Lee, go ahead and unmute yourself.
There
you go.
Hi,
Okay.
good morning, Lee. Okay. Lee, is your father in spirit?
Yes,
Okay. Was he in the military in some way, shape, or form?
yes.
Okay. So he's connecting in with you, and he's like, hey, you know, this is a special weekend for him. It's a special time to connect in with him, to be in memory. Understanding that, as what Ed was saying, is that sometimes our experiences leave a more or less permanent imprint and impact our coping skills and impact our ability to have relationships. And that is definitely what's at play for him. He is very appreciative that you're here listening today, because these are some of the words, what Ed was saying in his talk, is some of the understandings he wants you to further examine. Not like this is a foreign concept for you by any means, but just to really kind of reflect on some of Ed's words, or go back and listen and think about how your relationship with your dad and how your dad's personality or temperament could have been impacted, you know, based on some of the insights and wisdoms that were shared by Ed's talk today. I don't know if this makes sense to you or not, but he's very much happy that you're here and listening, and wants you to review it and reflect on him as you consider Ed's words today. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I
Yeah.
will do that.
Yeah, definitely. He's very sorry he missed some opportunities with you. Okay. He's very sorry he missed opportunities, but it's the way it had to be at that point in time. So believe it or not, Lee, he leaves you with so much love. Okay. So much love. And I thank you. Okay. And I am moving on. Let's see, who else we got here today? We got lots of good folks. All good folks at Church of the Angels. Jeffrey, would you like a message this morning?
Sure.
Okay. Have you had a message before, ever? Like?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you know a little bit. Okay. I wasn't sure. Jeffrey, are you a real physical kind of person? Like, you enjoy, I don't know, chopping wood or doing like real physical?
No, I don't. I'm not particularly good with that. I do run in the morning, but that's about it.
Well, that's not just about it. I mean, that's a good thing. I think that you have some guides on the other side that are really wanting you to be physical. And it could be, I'm not saying it has to be chopping wood, but I mean a physical, strong outlet. So
Okay.
maybe challenge yourself to do more hills, or challenge yourself to do intervals where you're going a little faster, harder than what you might ordinarily go along at. Because there's maybe some, right now we all have a lot of, maybe, I don't know, turmoil or angst, or you know, there's just a lot of uncertainty, and there's a lot of kind of emotional chaos going on for some as well. And it would be healthy for you to burn that off through the physical outlet, through the physical activity. So consider how you can, you know, shift up your runs, or shift up how you want to do yard work. You know, you could sometimes do it manually or sometimes do it with the aid of equipment or something. But that physical outlet's going to be important for you. Is your dad in spirit also?
No, he isn't.
He's not. Okay. There's a gentleman touching in with you. Okay, now, did your grandpa have a brother?
Yeah, one of my grandfathers had 5 brothers, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, he says he's one of the masses. So this is a family member from that part of the family. So your grandpa's brother, which I'm not sure who he would be to you, what that would be called, great uncle or something. He is connecting in with you as well. And he liked doing things with his hands. He was kind of more manual, like, you know, cars were a lot simpler then, but he enjoyed doing things with his hands. And he's saying you've got some projects coming up where you're going to be using your hands. Some of the projects you're like, okay, this is going to be good. And some projects are like, oh, you know, I don't want to have to, whatever, change the oil in my car or something like that. But it's going to be important to do these things. You have the ability to do it. And he's wanting you to know, since he enjoyed this kind of stuff, if you find, Jeffrey, that you're in a task where you get kind of stumped by, I don't know, this thing is stuck, this bolt broke, or, you know, whatever, it's stripped, and you're not sure how you can go forward with the project, he's wanting you to ask him for some inspiration. And again, just kind of step back into the calm quiet, like what we did a few minutes ago and what Ed has suggested. And you're going to think suddenly, oh, I know how I can handle this. I know what to do. And that's going to be him connecting in with you to help you move forward with that project or task. Okay.
Got it. Great.
So
Thank you very much.
linking to him. And I thank you. Thank you for being here this morning. Thanks for listening. Do you want me to do one more, Reverend Jenni, or I don't know how many?
Yes, go ahead and
Okay.
one more if you've got it. Go ahead.
I think I do. I just got. I feel like Romper Room when she had that magic mirror. And I see this one and that one and this one and that one. Oh, Patricia, would you like a message this morning?
Oh, wait a minute.
Yep. There.
Yes.
Oh,
Yep. Go ahead.
awesome. Okay. Good morning. Good morning, my dear. I know I don't see you, but I do know that you can hear me and hear you as well. My goodness, there is a lot of wisdom coming through you for you these days. Do you feel like you are getting a lot more input from spirit than typically you do? I know that you always are listening and you always hear, but I feel like they are just floodgates are opening for you right now.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. So but it is time to take advantage of that then. Okay. So don't just sideline it or put it on a back burner. Now is the time for you to capitalize on that. Okay. And especially when it comes to dealing with relationships, they're saying in particular, you know how we all have gifts and skills and talents in this world. And some are great cooks and some are great with gardening and some are handy with whatever, fixing stuff. And being a relationship mechanic, you give me the word relationship mechanic, is where right now your gifts and skills and abilities and what spirit is bringing through to you is so that you can be the best mechanic that you can be. All right. So in order to honor and celebrate the wisdom and the insights that are coming through and will continue to come through, you need to see where you need to impact relationships. And they're saying work your craft within relationships. And they are there. There's like this whole crowd of people like almost muscling each other out, that they want to be the one to help you with this. Okay. So don't be hesitant to ask. Don't be hesitant to use the insights and knowledge that they're sharing with you. Because there's like so many in this room that are, like I said, bumping elbows, trying to get through to be the one that you work with to bring about, to resolve misunderstandings that have been going on around. Okay.
Okay.
So I leave that with you with many blessings. Thanks for being here this morning.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And Reverend Jenni, thank you for the chance to serve today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Carol Miller, do you have just a couple for us?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. Yes,
Awesome.
I do. Thank you. Ed, may I come to you, our speaker?
Yes, let me, yeah, okay, you're good to go. Go ahead.
Yes, please.
Thanks. I'm a little hesitant to come to you, just a little intimidated that you were a speaker. But, you know, I looked at you and I got a feeling of what a really sweet man, what a really sweet soul you are. And then I got the sense that this was coming from a woman in your past. I don't know if it's your mother or a mother figure, or maybe a partner, a sister. And the message is to acknowledge that part, not you know, you have a deep wisdom and understanding and mental understanding, but to embrace the sweetness of your own soul also, and that's coming from a female in your past. Okay, and I'll leave that with you.
Thank you so very much. I do appreciate that, and God bless you.
Thank you. And I also, it's early on, I don't know what the message will be, but may I come to you, Pat Gates?
Yes, thank you, Carol.
Hi there, Pat. As I say, I was looking at you right from the start. And you know, it's almost the flip side of Ed's. I see men in your past coming in a really positive way for you, that there have been some men who've sort of been role models, not role models, mentors in your life, in your career, and especially from work. There's someone coming in that maybe a teacher, maybe a man teacher coming in saying to use your strength, the strength that you have, that you've used before. It's still there. These are hard times, but you're doing okay, and you can do okay with the hard times. Definitely one man coming in, kind of in like he's older middle age, like in gray slacks, if it's anyone you can recognize. And I would definitely say work related. And I'll leave that with you.
Thank you, Carol.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Carol. And for our last worker today, Deborah, where did you go? There you are. Hi. If you could, there you go. Okay. Who would you like to read for today?
Shannon. Shannon, would you like a message today? All right. Hello, my beautiful soul friend. I miss you. I love your beautiful face. I'm good to see you on here. Spirit's telling me that you're doing a lot of work with your throat chakra, with finding your voice and getting it out there. And they're applauding that, but they want you to even do more. You keep holding yourself back. You're distracting yourself. You're doing projects. You're painting. You're doing this. You're like, da-da-da. This is downtime. No, it's work. It's time to get on it and get busy. You have so much to give, and you know this. So take some time, block off your schedule, whatever you're doing, work on that YouTube channel, work on getting your website done, work on getting it done. We need your message now more than ever. Stop lollygagging. Stop thinking you don't have it. Listen to what Ed said. Find your voice. You have the power and you have the ability, and you know it. You're just kind of looking at the flowers and hanging out with the butterflies. Yeah, and that's great and wonderful, but bring inspiration and then share it. So maybe do that an hour a day, but then come back to your computer and share that. And the more you get out there, the more you get in front of everyone, the more it's going to take off, and you're just going to go like wildfire. It's going to be insane, and you're going to move from that throat. You're already, and you're already there making the connections, but I mean, I just see explosion. So get off your butt, girl.
Okay. I need that kick in the butt. Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you. I leave that with you with love and light. Liz, where are you on my screen? There you are. Hi, darling. How are you? Would you like a message today?
I am looking for Liz myself. Liz, where did you go? Unmute yourself because I can't find you, Liz. Oh, there you are. Okay. Oh, okay, go ahead, Liz. You're good.
Liz, Spirit's telling me that you're working with the solar plex, the will. You're starting to really start standing up for yourself and having the courage to put up boundaries around yourself and just start telling you're in the process. You've been thinking about this a lot, about telling those who are not engaging with you properly. It's time to put your hand to say no. You're not allowed to do this. No, I know it's your opinion, but that's what it is. It's your opinion, not mine. Spirit's telling me it's time to really focus on that and really stand in your truth and your empowerment. There's some major portals of energy opening right now. We have 3 eclipses. We're letting things go. We're setting up the boundaries. This is a powerful time to take control of your life and go in the direction you want to go in. Spirit's saying you have to follow your direction. Don't let those outside influence and those naysayers, people like that are sent in to trip us up, to see if we're really walking our walk and talking our talk. They're just sent in to kind of, just to see, it's God's way of are you really making the commitment to do this work? And it's time for you to really, and just meditate on your solar plex and opening that up. And that'll help put you in alignment. So I'll leave that with Spirit's blessing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Joey, may I come to you?
Yep, go ahead. She's unmuted.
Hello, beautiful.
Hi.
I see so many angels around you, and they're just blessing you with so much golden light and love for the work you've been doing on the prayer team and the inner work you've been doing and the connections you're making and reaching out more. You're stepping out of your box now and stepping into your golden light and your energy, and things are going to even amp up more for you. So just be aware, continue to make the connection. The angels are all applauding. And of course, your husband's been down kissing you on top of the head. I don't know if he used to do that when he was in physical form, but he's got your back. He's rubbing your shoulders and he's just holding you there. And you're doing such beautiful work, and they are just applauding you like crazy. And I'll leave that with you. Love and light.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. Thank you for everyone. Thank you to participants and mediums, and especially the Spirit and the God of your understanding for being with us today and always. A couple of announcements. This Wednesday, the 27th, Reverend Cindy Hudson will be doing our meditation circle via Zoom. That information is on the Facebook page and on the website, I believe. The Board of Trustees, along with myself, is meeting this Tuesday to discuss plans for whatever safe reopening will look like. It's not happening right now, this second, but we will be working on some plans to do this safely and under CDC guidelines. Just to let you know that we will probably, part of that plan will probably include continuing some sort of virtual service as well. Whether it will be, it'll be at a different time, maybe a different day, I don't know, but we'll probably try to incorporate both as we do this. As we have more plans in place, we will let you know. As of right now, we're just planning to plan. So we will, that is happening on Tuesday. I want to thank everybody for the success of the Spirit Fair. This was a trial, this was a trial thing, doing it virtually and for the week, but we did well. And I want to thank everybody for participating, those readers that read and those healers that healed, and for Spirit and all those who called in and requested sessions. I am also looking for a speaker to do what Ed did today, virtually, because we're still planning virtually for the time being, for next week or June 7th or June 14th. I have a couple of people in mind that I might ask. I'm going to call you out right now, actually, so you have time to think about it. But Shannon Williams, Deborah, Reverend Deborah, and Ann Cheney. I want you, I'm calling you out right now to possibly think about speaking one of those days, okay? So, and let's see, for those who may be new with us today, you can learn more about the church at our website, which is www.thechurchoftheangels.net. And now I'd like to open it up for any announcements from the floor. Sue Mullen.
I have a
Okay, Sue, go ahead.
I have a suggestion.
What's that?
On days
when Bobby's not there to play music. Not that you don't do a good job, but why don't we all bring a musical instrument? I mean, we've had drum circles. Let's turn it into a drum circle. Carol Wood is.
It's possible. It's definitely something to think about. Definitely. Thank you, Sue. Thank you so much. All right. Anybody else have announcements? Or Reverend Cindy Hudson. Can't hear you yet. Wait a minute. Okay.
Number one, yeah, there we go. Somebody's got some really sweet birds in their yard. What a beautiful accompaniment to the service. But also too, just to say on Wednesday when we do meditation, we're going to focus on the concept of becoming. So give that some thought and join up virtually. Same like Zoom location at 7 o'clock. But thank you.
All right. Same time, same bat channel, right?
That's right. That's right.
All right. And let's see who else has an announcement. Okay, let me just scan real quickly here. So I'm on to make sure that I don't miss anybody. I do not see any other hands up. Okay. All right. So we're going to join in another song because we don't have our instruments yet, Sue. So let's use this and then stay with us for the closing prayer. I will leave the room open for a while and unmute everybody so that we can kibitz. But for now, let's do the song and a closing prayer. This is Karen Drucker, Holy, Holy, Holy.
We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy. We are holy, Spirit divine. Holy, come to me. Holy, feeling love. Holy, healing me. Holy, open my heart. Holy, allow me to see. Holy, beauty and love. We are holy in me. You are holy, holy, holy. 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 You are holy. I am holy, Spirit divine. Holy, come to me. Holy, feeling love. Holy, feeling me. Holy, open my heart. Allow me to see holy, beauty and love. We are surrounding me. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy. I am holy, holy. I am holy, holy. I am. We are holy, holy. 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 We are holy, holy.
Infinite Spirit, Mother, Father God, as we move forward, we thank you in advance for the guidance and resources you always provide for us to live the fullest expression of your love. We pray for all those affected by the circumstances throughout our world at this time, and may we be reminded of the opportunities to reconnect in love to all those around the world, to Mother Earth, and to the universe. Amen. And let me unmute all. Let's see if I can, well, I'm trying, hang on. Well, unmute yourselves. I can't seem to do it today. Let me stop the recording. Okay, here we go.